It's been a few days since Stephen Hawking's demise, his death. He lived an extraordinary life and he wrote many interesting books, none of which I have read, but I've heard they're pretty interesting and informative. However, may Stephen Hawking rest in peace. Let's have a moment of silence for him. All right. We've had that moment of silence. Let's move on. Rest in peace, Stephen Hawking. But anyway, I he did warn us about the dangers of artificial intelligence and where, like in Terminator, these things become self-aware. They can upgrade themselves to where they're smarter than us. Hell, there are chess games that can defeat grandmasters, not just regular run-of-the-mill folks, novices, but grandmasters, like the Bobby Fishers of the world and all that stuff. And that is very concerning. The computers are now already able to outsmart the best of us. And artificial intelligence could be very dangerous. Because if they become self-aware like Skynet did in Terminator, it could be the end of the world. Because think about it. And they necessarily wouldn't have to be, or you'd only need one really smart computer. Like, there's this one science fiction novel Stephen Hawking talked about where where they asked this really smart computer that these scientists built, is there a God? The computer responds, there is now. Anyway, you might want to start thinking about it like the Zerg from StarCraft or even the Arachnids from Starship Troopers. Because, think about it, they have one really smart brain, but they have a bunch of mindless followers that will do whatever they're ordered to. I mean, think about it. Instead of, big bug-like things, they'd have battle droids, and from Star Wars. And battle droids, people think of them as weak, but they are excellent soldiers. That would make a great army. I mean, think about it. You don't have to, the logistics are much simpler. You don't have to feed them, clothe them, give them medical care. You don't have to give them retirement or disability if they get hurt or serve a long time. And they're easy to make. You can program them for a variety of functions. And to top it all off, they are absolutely fearless. They have no instinct for self-preservation. And they will just be totally focused on accomplishing the mission. It will be their only goal. And you basically would have like a really smart computer leading a bunch of stupid ones. They don't need to be smart. They just need to be determined and programmed well. And I mean, think about it. It could be like the Matrix. It takes, weeks or months to train a regular infantry soldier or a soldier from any other MOS. And with Spec Ops units, you generally have to put them in training for a year or two, sometimes more, before they're ready to deploy. And they can be designed for, imagine being able to just throw all that knowledge into them, like in the Matrix, just in an instant. And you can just keep churning them out in a factory somewhere. That's a pretty terrifying thing. And the entire rule book that Sun Tzu wrote, The Art of War, I mean, it would be completely turned on its head. You couldn't get spies in or anything like that. It would just be a frickin' nightmare, because you can't. All you gotta do is get power for them. Is keep the machines powered, and there's not a lot you can do. And we might have to resort to just EMPing the whole. What's scary is that we might have to just EMP the whole planet, and everything that was accomplished in the past since the discovery of electricity would be pretty much gone. And even if we win, it could still be a disaster for humanity. It could set us back 200 years. And as far as like the Terminator goes, I mean, you can design like things for for a variety of functions. I mean, you can have massive, huge battle droids, huge numbers of battle droids just charging, and you can have more stronger built things like Terminators or whatever, or anything in between. And machines could be built to withstand so much shit. And again, they're utterly fearless. They have no fear. And that would just be a fucking nightmare. And because like I said before, artificial intelligence can already surpass humanity in some ways. There are chess games that can beat grandmasters. They're like these little artificial intelligence chess players that can defeat the grandmasters. The very best we have. The very best we humans have. And there are so many ways that, this could really go wrong. And if these machines develop self-awareness, we could have... it could be the end of humanity. And that's a very scary thing, obviously. And as far as the idea of a droid army goes, a lot of people see, remember the Jedi and all that stuff in Star Wars, just blasting their way through, or slicing their way through a whole bunch of battle droids. But damn it, a Jedi cannot be replaced easily. A 1,000 battle droids can. And they can be replaced in the blink of an eye. And they would just have a massive army of just expendable soldiers who could withstand any climate, pretty much any hardship. And that you don't have to feed them and clothe them or anything like that. That would just be phenomenal. As I said before, the droid army in Star Wars in the Star Wars prequels, would be such a great army because of all the factors I mentioned earlier. And it would just be a nightmare. I'm doing this to warn my fellow humans. I mean, it's not about one country anymore, or one nation, or one alliance, or it's not about NATO, the Warsaw Pact, the former Warsaw Pact. It's not about the West versus Islam, or North versus South, or communism versus capitalism, or communism versus fascism, or capitalism versus fascism, or black versus white, or black versus brown, or any other combination you can think of. It's about humanity. Us versus machines. And the machines are pretty much our tools, or slaves, or appliances, or whatever you want to call them. I'm using a machine to make this video. And it's really some scary shit. And this shit could destroy us. Anyway, I thank you for watching my video. This will be the end of it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.